Good morning, Dr. Barnes here, founder of Mindful Medicine. Today we're going to go over SSRIs explained simply. Let's go. First, I got to define a couple things just to get started. SSRI, what does it stand for? Well, it stands for Selective Serotonin Reuptake Inhibitor. And that's really important. And before we could say, well, what's a reuptake inhibitor? What does it mean to reuptake? First, you have to identify a little bit of neuroanatomy, okay? So this is a synapse. What you're looking right here is at a synapse, okay? Now, a synapse is where two neurons are nerve cells in the brain, talk to each other. And there's trillions of these, okay, in the brain. And the synapse is where the one neuron talks to the next to make things happen. Now, within this synapse, think of it like a one-way street, kind of goes in this direction. Within this synapse, I've identified these little triangles as serotonin. So I kind of drew them like that. And I'm gonna write here that equals serotonin for a moment, okay? So if this neuron is making serotonin, it will then travel to try to communicate what serotonin does, whatever impact it has, to this neuron to then make serotonin do its job. So it will create the serotonin in little vesicles, if you will, and it will slowly build them and put together, and they will bring them to the membrane and then eventually secrete them in to the synapse, if you could see it here. And then once it's in the synapse, it can then go bind to the receptor. What these things are receptors. So I'm going to define that here for a moment. So these little things that look like this, those are just receptors. And they help take the serotonin, communicate that into the neuron, and then make it happen. Now, what is an SSRI? Let's get into that. There's a process called reuptake. Now, this is real interesting because the neuron kind of preserves the extra serotonin. So all of these guys that are here in the synapse that are kind of floating around, maybe there's more of them, it doesn't go to waste. And there's a process called reuptake. And what reuptake is this neuron will say, maybe I could reuse it. So it will take it and bring it back. I know, it's exciting. And it brings it back. This is called reuptake, okay? This is like a recycling. Reuptake is like recycling, if you will. Reuptake. Okay, reuptake. That's a normal process. It happens every second. It's happening right now, okay? Now, if you're an inhibitor of a reuptake, then you are blocking this. Think about that for a second. You're blocking the removal of the extra serotonin from the synapse. So if you block the removal of it or you block the reuptake, you will essentially have more serotonin. And the result of this is that you will have more serotonin laying around in the synapse. You'll create a lot more of them. See, I'm drawing more of them? Because you can't reuptake because the medicine came in and stopped that. And if you have more serotonin, you will have more to bind to the receptors. Understand? Because there's a lot of receptors. And you will have a lot more that could bind and therefore increase serotonin. If you guys are still with me, hit me up in the comments.